The takeout market is a $67 billion industry, and the appetite for on-demand meals seems to be insatiable. According to app discovery engine AppCrawler, right now there are 242 food delivery apps available. That raises the question about whether this sector is getting oversaturated and leaving consumers with app indigestion. Pravin Vazirani is a managing partner at Menlo Ventures. That is the company that co-led food delivery startup Muncherie's latest funding round of $85 million came from. CNBC's John Ford is also here to join the conversation. And Pravin, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thank you very much for having me.
So I would make the point that not all of these food apps are created equal. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Muncherie and what that does?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I think it's really interesting that we're seeing so many of these apps out there. And I think the reason for that is that today you have more and more families with two working couples, and mom or dad just doesn't have 45 minutes to cook dinner every night. And so I think it's fantastic for consumers that there are so many great options out there.
But Muncherie is not just a delivery service for existing restaurants, correct?
That's absolutely right. I mean, what differentiates Muncherie and what got us very excited about this investment is that they take control of the entire value chain. So everything from the preparation of the food all the way to the delivery right to your home. The reason why that's important is they're able to keep their costs low, cut out a lot of overhead, cut out middlemen, and basically what Muncherie is doing is taking the food quality and preparation you'd expect from a fine dining restaurant and bringing it down to a fast casual price point that consumers can enjoy every day.
John, you have seen a lot of these apps that are out there, though, and it could create a little bit of confusion in the market, too.
Yeah, it could, but a lot of these apps are coming at it from different angles, Becky, and I think even just looking at the takeout market is probably too narrow a way to look at this. What Muncherie is trying to do is vertical integration on a massive scale. They're trying to get leverage out of how they acquire food. Shervin Pishabar over at Sherpa Ventures, which was in that round with Menlo, says that when they acquire a pound of salmon in San Francisco, they're paying $6, whereas others would pay $9 to $11. So that's on the acquisition of the food. Then on the preparation, they're looking at technologies, internet-connected technologies that would allow them to cook the food more efficiently, use fewer people. Then, of course, they don't have the bricks-and-mortar stores. And if people are ordering this food consistently over time, they get efficiency on that end, too, and it sort of builds on itself is the idea. It's kind of like McDonald's in a way, but for the mobile smartphone era in terms of the amount of efficiency that they can wring out of this, but at the same time, they're coming at this trying to be healthy. It's different from a Seamless or Grubhub, you know, that company that's delivering other people's food. So I think it makes a lot of sense that there are a lot of companies in here. I think the question is, when there's the inevitable shakeout, will it be the vertically integrated company like a Muncherie that survives, or will it be these others that maybe are investing less capital?
Hey, Pravin, I like the concept a lot, and you mentioned that, look, it's about convenience and it's about wanting to make sure that people have healthier options coming into this when they get home and don't have 45 minutes to an hour to get everything ready and cook for all the kids. Is this something, though, that works outside of an urban environment, or is this something that you really only see existing in big cities?
Actually, it works very well in suburban environments as well. In San Francisco, for example, Muncherie delivers all the way from the North Bay all the way down to San Jose. I happen to live in Menlo Park. I get it in my home all the time. So it works extremely well, even in suburban environments.
And they deliver cold, which is part of it.
Which is
yeah.
I like
they
that.
deliver the food. They deliver the food chilled, which enables them to expand the service radius of any individual location. So if you think about from Marin all the way down to San Jose, that's covering some 45, 50 miles from just one kitchen in San Francisco, and it really shows you the power.
Why should these companies be valued almost like tech companies, as opposed to just basically restaurant companies that have a pretty efficient and good delivery service? That's the piece of this puzzle that I don't really understand, given that even though I know there's economies of scale in technology unto itself, the restaurant business is a very tough business.
It is, but I think to a degree they are technology companies. If you look at what Muncherie is trying to do, at least, they're trying to apply technology at various points in the chain. So in the kitchen, they're going to invest in technology that allows them to eliminate people, kind of similar to an Uber. And then on the consumer end, the technology in the hand, the app, figuring out the most efficient routes for the drivers to take so that they can get more food in the vehicle and deliver more of it, not just the scheduled food, but also the people who say, oh, I happen to want lunch today. Let's see what Munchery's got. So if they can make good on that promise, it's a technology company. If not, then yeah, it's probably overvalued.
Pravin, what do you think?
I think John said it very well. There's technology inserted at every single point in the value chain, from how they source the food, how they prepare the food, how they deliver the food, how the consumer interacts with the service. I mean, you don't find a restaurant where you're ordering entree from your iPhone app. And so they've really revolutionized the entire experience to the consumer using technology. But at the end of the day, it is a food company, and food is a massive market, $67 billion in takeout alone. But the real competition is the grocery market, where we're really substituting people cooking at home, which is a much larger market, around $600 billion a year. There's
always a downside, though. This could absolutely hollow out the food service market for employment. I mean, think about it. What you end up with if companies like Munchery succeed is really bad food service jobs and really good high-end food service jobs. And everything in the middle just gets obliterated.
Yeah. John, thanks for coming in today. And Pravin, thank you for joining us.